I grew up actually listening to music from around the world. I mean, particularly Western pop and rock, but also Indian classical and the music of the time in India. I have been steeped in music all my life. But what was interesting is that when I first came to the US, I expected New York and America in general would be very much open to and aware of what else was going on in the rest of the world, music from around the world. And over a number of years, as I started my career at MTV in 1996, and for the next several years, to my disappointment and surprise, I realized that there's not much information and not a lot of people actually know nor care about music from other parts of the world. That was a very interesting and revelatory thing for me. My career at MTV from that point on has actually been all about trying to bring global pop music and global pop culture into the US and opening up windows and hopefully creating a better understanding of the rest of the world through music, which is obviously universal language and connective tissue. The approach in the US has been, all right, we have something, we're going to launch versions of that in India and China and Brazil, and then in media you had satellite technology through which we were beaming versions of whatever that programming was into these countries. Never was there the thought that we should be making this a two-way process. If we're exporting our culture, if we're sending Michael Jackson and Coke and Pepsi and Levi's to India and China, what are we bringing back? Where's the dialogue? Specifically for media, the technology wasn't there. So I think it's led to this situation where I think that, there's this very myopic understanding that Western pop culture is global pop culture. If you're in India, you say Madonna, everyone knows. But if you're in New York City and you say Lata Mangeshkar or Asha Bhosle, more specifically, the most recorded artist of all time, I don't think anyone knows. Why? Because we haven't enabled a two-way conversation. With the advent of the internet and with, obviously the web and social media and mobile, all that has changed. Countries are talking to themselves, whether we are a part of that conversation or not. It's created a notion of global pop culture. K-pop's this big genre of music that has exploded, not just in Asia, but in Latin America, in Europe. But it's not just the logistical advantages that digital technology is enabling. It's also that technology is enabling collaboration. And you'll see that in fashion, you will see that in music, you will see that in film, you will see that in theater, you will see that in literally every aspect of culture itself. And I think the brands that are not tapping into that emerging reality, I think are losing out on something. There is a larger global context within which all of us live. And so every piece of content that comes out of our division is predicated on that. So that whether it be Rebel Music, which is a series about young people in turbulent countries making a change, fighting oppression and injustice through music and art, any audience anywhere in the world can actually relate to that content because we're speaking in universal themes. Well, I don't know what my legacy is, but I would hope that it has to do with me trying to make the world a smaller place, trying to make the world a more global place, and trying to make a world that through media can talk to each other and is more empathetic. If I can be remembered even in a very humble way within that context, I think I might have done something right.